you're familiar with Gartner, they have this hype cycle and all. So I read an article which said that mobile is the wave to catch on. It was just a seminal article I just read. It was not on in LinkedIn. It was probably a search that led me to that article. Then I thought, okay, mobile is the thing that is going to catch up. I'm with Infosys working on Java, J2E and all. Why don't I attempt changing my company onto a company which actually does mobile work? So it was a decision that I had to take, shifting the company and also shifting the technology. Now you can imagine a person with 6, 7 years of experience with Java, J2E, you get into the market and then you say, hey, I'm here to learn mobile and contribute. Nobody will give you the job. They'll say, you have 7 years of experience. Why are you getting into mobile? Use that experience and build your portfolio in Java and J2E world. So it actually had some struggling experience for me. I attended multiple interviews. Everybody were trying to give me Java J2E jobs. Nobody was offering mobile jobs. There was one startup in Hyderabad. It's called Kony Labs. Became Temenos later, and then Core AI came out of it. So that company in the interview decided to bet on me. I was their very early employee, and then I got into mobile world. So the Stack Overflow that eventually I built was, as you, if you can actually see, all these answers are Objective-C answers, iOS ecosystem answers. My first answer was on AWS S3, where I was trying to actually use SDK from mobile to retrieve some objects. So 7 years with Java J2E. Finally, when I went to Stack Overflow, my portfolio was not Java J2E. It was mobile. It was iOS. It was Objective-C. Now, what that taught me was, doesn't matter where you start. What matters is, are you able to see the trend, catch on to it, learn, and then also bet on yourself. The bet that I put on myself was, can I be a mobile developer? 7 years with Java. Many people were not betting on me, but I was betting on myself. Finally, someone trusted and they said, yes, this person seems like crazy. Why don't we try? And that's why I got into mobile. So, obviously, as you see, my reputation is pretty low. I couldn't catch up with Stack Overflow. I have my friends who have like 20,000 reputation, 30,000 reputation. I couldn't get there because I was always busy with my corporate job, my day job. Okay. One another social media, if you may, that I really liked when it came out in 2013 was Quora. Many of you probably are using it or are aware of it, right? So the moment it came out, I left Stack Overflow and I thought Quora is the next big thing. Okay, let me jump onto that because the entry point on Quora was a little more acceptable or accepting than Stack Overflow. You can write your answers. People may downvote, but then it won't be as aggressive that you would actually see on Stack Overflow. It wasn't that demotivating. So I jumped onto Quora and then I started sharing my experiences. I tried to build my portfolio, like giving some answers on technology and so on. One question that came in around 2014 or 15, if I recollect, was about what technologies that you should focus on for the next 5 years. So in 2015, the next 5 years is what, 2020? So that was an answer that I wrote on Quora, which kind of became popular. I got like around 35,000 hits on this and maybe around 30 shares. So, I mean, over a period of time, I think it took like 6, 7 years to become that viral, but eventually it was the most important post that I had on Quora. But then notice here, what I did here in this particular post is what I also followed in my journey as a corporate employee. I started with Java J2E, jumped onto mobile because mobile was the shiny thing. Obviously, I was chasing the shiny new objects back then. And then cloud also happened. Around 2013-14, cloud kind of became very popular. AWS was really catching up. 16-17, it was the leader in the market. Azure was trying to catch up. GCP was trying to catch up. So if you see my answers, and this was 11 years back, by the way, I was basically writing my observations back then of what I was doing as a corporate employee while doing my job. Okay, I was actually learning cloud technologies. I was applying for certifications. I was crossing the certifications, and I was getting into the projects where cloud was used. And further, obviously, you have to use your personal skills. Go to your managers, talk with them, and say that, sir, madam, I have to be in this project. I like this. Please allow me. So I did all that, ensured I was in the right projects all the time to ensure that I am practicing what I'm learning, right? So that's how I got into cloud. I got certified in a couple of AWS solution architect, developer, and all that. And then I also predicted something here. Um, I think it was there. I'm not really sure. Variable, yeah, variable. So back then, I think around 2014 and 15, when variables were not really the in thing, I read some articles. I was reading through some magazines and so on, and they said that as mobile has caught up, look for variables. They will also catch up pretty soon. Okay, everybody will try to bring in some kind of a physical variables where it will collect your personal data, your health data, your all the familiar things that you have, and then it will become a world where everything about a person, like the physical entity that you are, it will all be on the cloud. So I was like, yeah, if that is the thing, maybe I should start learning. That never happened though. But these were my predictions back then. Those predictions kind of stuck for the next 5 years, and they are also valid even now. If you really see, I mean, minus the AI part, everything that is written like 11 years back, along with me, many others also wrote pretty similar. All of them are still the same. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this, I'll come to that. But the point I want to make is, and of course, LinkedIn, of course. I think most of you are on LinkedIn. I left Quora, by the way. I left Stack Overflow. I left Quora. Finally, I stuck onto LinkedIn. The best thing about LinkedIn, as any other social media platform, Instagram, or what is it called? I'm not on Insta, by the way. So, Facebook. I'm also not on Facebook. So, Reddit. I am not on Reddit as well. So, the thing is, anything in my career, I felt anything that helps me progress my career, progress me as whatever I'm doing. Like if I'm a corporate employee, if it was helping me progress in my corporate life, or it was helping me progress in my learning life, I used to just latch on them. Quora helped me to a point. After that, I saw how it was going down and how it was not really helping me. I stopped it. Stack Overflow obviously helped me for a very, very, very long time. I latched on it. LinkedIn, it's my de facto right now. It helps me every single day. I'll tell you how. So I keep on that. Facebook, I tried once, maybe 2-3 years I was on that. It never helped me. Quit my Facebook account and deleted it. Twitter, it was a lot of noise. It was giving me those community feel and all that, but it was not helping me as an individual. So I dropped from Twitter. Same with Reddit. It helps me get a community feel, but as an individual, because it's all anonymous, to get any signals, I'll go to Reddit as an anonymous users. But then as an individual, it's not giving me anything that I can latch onto and then go forward. So I'm not on Reddit actively. But LinkedIn, because LinkedIn follows pretty much the same algorithms that all of your other social media network follows. Where this is what I follow. For example, if there is a topic, the topic, let's say, is cloud. So what I do is I'll go connect with people who are actively working on cloud technologies. If they are not willing to connect with me, it's okay, I'll follow them. Then I'll go to the groups where a lot of cloud technologies are happening at that particular place. I'll follow them. I'll ensure that there is a like, there is a comment from my side. So what basically I'm doing is I'm deliberately allowing the algorithm to give me the feed that I am interested in. Okay, it's a very deliberate move. Right now, obviously, as all of you know, AI is the thing. So what I did, I think 1.5 years back, I started connecting with people who are in that particular space, AI space, as directors or VPs or research scientists, etc. I started connecting with them. And then whenever they posted something, I started liking or commenting. Now, if you go to my LinkedIn feed, you'll only see AI, AI, and AI. So what has happened is over a period of time, without my knowledge, because I open LinkedIn at least once a day, without my knowledge, I've actually built enough experience on AI, on topics that I have not directly worked on. Okay. Of course, I have worked on many other things, but the gain that I had through just the feeds over the last 1.5 years is immense. Just because the algorithms helped me. Okay, and that was very deliberate. And that's what I do every day. I'll go see whom I can connect with and then see what are they posting. There are people who are extremely good researchers, but they'll never post. I don't really want to connect with them. In person, yes, maybe, but on a social media, no, because it's not going to help me out, right? Very deliberate moves. So that is what right now I am doing with LinkedIn. But then I also ensure that every 6 to 8 months I go and revisit the kind of people I have connected, the kind of posts that I am liking, and so on. Why? Because what happens is over a period of time, if you don't revisit, that will become your worldview. What do you call it? Echo chamber. So the world may have moved on, but because the feed is actually making you stick to that particular echo chamber worldview, you may be limiting only to that world, and you don't even know what has happened to the world outside that. So you have to go revisit whom you have liked, what you have liked, whom you are connected to every 6 to 8 months. Okay, so that your feed refreshes again. Okay, so that is something that I do. Now, the reason I spoke about my Quora experience, Stack Overflow experience, etc., is back then I was doing this, chasing the shiny object. Every 6 months, every 1 year, every 2 years, I'll read an article. The article will say something about X or a Y or a Z, and then I'll say where am I in my career? Will that particular topic will help me move forward in my career? If I feel my gut says yes, I'll just latch on that. But back then, what I did not realize was it's the fundamentals all the time that matters. Okay. Now, some of this may be a hindsight, right? Because you have learned enough, you have seen enough. Then it could be like, oh, on hindsight, why did I actually shifted to Node.js when Java JE was enough? Or why did I actually have to use Vue.js when React was enough? Why is that I had to go to Angular 16 when Angular 2 was enough? Those are all hindsight kind of thoughts that come to you. But back then, when you are living in that world, you will not actually understand all of that. But now, with all this experience that I have seen, one thing I realized is your fundamentals do not change. They are the same no matter where you go. For example, SRE, DevOps, or what you have, cloud engineer, and so on and so forth, right? The fundamentals for either of these roles that you see in the market right now or in this industry right now, fundamental is still networking. Fundamental is still, do you know how to access SSH or access a machine using SSH? Fundamental is still Bash. Fundamental is still TCP IP and IP addresses and all that. Nothing has changed. But what happens is the world markets in such a way that people latch onto the titles, SRE, cloud engineer, DevOps, and so on. DevOps engineer. There is nothing called as a DevOps engineer, by the way, right? DevOps is a
framework. It's a framework. Framework.
It's an ideology.
Yeah, methodology.
It's a methodology. DevOps is a methodology. But then what has happened? They created DevOps engineers, DevOps infrastructure, DevOps this, DevOps out of a methodology, right? So under the hood, everything is fundamentally the same. The same goes with what software engineer, right? If you have enough understanding of your data structures, your algorithms, one programming language, maybe one object-oriented, okay, one object-oriented and one functional, that's enough. You're a software engineer for life, right? So what is the fundamental construct for that? Ensure you're strong on that. Everything else is muska on top of that, right? Same with embedded engineer. Okay, same with embedded engineer. Are you good at C? Are you good at RTOS? Right? Are you good at sensors? Are you able to, like Sir was saying in the Atal Tinkering Lab, the kind of problems they are solving? Are you good at that? Do you understand the voltage patterns? If you are able to do all of that, then you actually are embedded engineer for life, right? You don't need any fancy titles. Same with SAP, same with Salesforce, CRM, any CRM you pick up. If you are good at domain, you can shift your tools. They are just tools, right? The latest one, I think many of you have heard about this in AI world, forward deployed engineer. I mean, just out of random, somebody coined this term last year, and I think Anthropic did that, and everybody latched onto it. Forward deployed engineer. Okay, under the hood, what you are a software engineer who knows AI, who knows the tooling, right? So the point is fundamentals. everywhere. As long as you are strong with your fundamentals, doesn't matter the title, you will survive and you will flourish. Okay. So with that, one important thing as founders, as startup owners, as students, technologists, one thing that we need to all understand is how do you differentiate between noise and signal. Right now, AI hype is at its peak, right? It's, I mean, as I said, my LinkedIn feed is like AI this, AI that every single day. So I have to probably revisit whether I have to still live in that world or I have to come out of that. But right now it's at its peak, okay? And many times, what is happening is we are actually listening to noise. For example, Microsoft says, we stopped Claude AI subscription because the cost of the tokens was so much that it is going beyond our employee salaries and whatnot. That's a noise, okay? Given by some person as a PR exercise maybe or as a media feed. Okay, same goes with Anthropic or OpenAI. They will, Sam Altman in one tweet will say, jobs will vanish. Software jobs is going to vanish. Your entire software engineering stack is going to vanish. Again, noise. Okay, what you need to, or what we all need to understand is how to catch the signal. Amongst all this noise, one thing that you need to understand is if you apply first principles to any of this noise, what does first principles is? Are you having an LLM? Are you having a model which is generating code for you? Is the answer yes? Yes. 4 years back, when ChatGPT, I think the 3 or X model came, it was able to generate code. 4 years later, Opus 4.8 is that the latest? That is also able to generate code. What is the difference then and now? Is there an improvement? Absolutely, there is. So, what is the trend telling us? That improvement will keep improving, or is it going to decrease? It will improve. So that's a clear signal. There is no noise here. LLMs are going to become better and better and better. That's a signal that we have. Yes, absolutely. Tokens. Earlier, the token window in AI world was what? 96K maximum. 3 years back. Then it became what, 200K last year. Now it is 1 million tokens. So is it telling us that tokens will increase or decrease? Will increase. 6 months later, we are probably going to see 2 million tokens. So that's a signal. It's not noise. You are seeing a trend. Similarly, if you observe the trends like this, you can clearly get away from the noise and only focus on the signals. And through that signals, you decide what to pick on, what to ignore. Okay? Yeah? Yeah. One more. The third part here I mentioned here is what has happened is because AI has made everyone a smart person, the level playing field is almost like, the authority in the hall and the intern in the hall, they are on the same level, right? Earlier, when you wanted to build something, you know that there is a cycle for that, SDLC, for example, and you know that people have to put in their thoughts and, you have the requirements, you have the design and then the algorithm and then the coding and the testing and the deployment, right? There is a process for that. Today, the so-called vibe coding ecosystem and also the tooling, they have improved so much. What has happened is, let's say you are a founder or you are a leader of your org. You have a thought process that, okay, this can be built. Now you gave the AI tools to your engineers or your interns. Within 2 days, they'll be ready with 100 different solutions for the problem that you have. So, who is going to have the most trouble deciding now? Not the interns, not the engineers. It's the founders. It's the leader in the room because they are so overwhelmed that, oh, this is ready already. Now you have to go and verify that. Earlier, for that verification, you had a process. So you had like 6 months time to understand because it took 6 months time to build it. So you had 6 months time to internalize it and then come up with some decisions. Now you have to take a decision the third day, right? So sometimes the decision making authority also could become the bottleneck if you really see, right? So differentiate where the signal is and where the noise is. Yeah. So using first principles, you can absolutely go figure that out yourself. Do not go with what some feeds tells you, right? Agentic AI, again, this is the most widely used, abused word nowadays. People want to do automation, simple automation. They're calling that as agentic AI. RPA came in 15, 20 years back, and it is still a thing, right? You don't need AI for everything. You don't need agents for everything. Neither you need agentic AI for everything. That's pure noise. Okay? But people who do not understand this, if let's say the CEO or the CTO, somebody just gives a random suggestion that agentic AI is ruling, you probably have to latch on that and build it. If they don't understand it, they'll push that down to their entire organization and they'll say we need agentic AI. Okay, so that's again a noise. Okay? As technologists and founders and all, you have to understand what actually you want to do. What is the problem you are solving? What does it need? Agentic, automation, statistical modeling maybe, basic mathematics maybe, right? So all that is what the onus is on you. You as the founder, the engineer, the student, yeah, right? So that's a way to do that. Coming to patterns, this is something very interesting, and this is obviously not from the internet. This is not from Claude. This is purely from my observation. So take it with a pinch of salt. Okay. The patterns that I have seen in cloud. Okay. CPU and memory utilization. In cloud, when the cloud was evolving 10, 15 years back, most important thing was not about what AWS provides or GCP provides or Azure provides. Everybody had similar kind of options. Everybody had storage, everybody had compute, everybody had VPCs, gateways, etc. But what mattered was how much of CPU and memory were you utilizing? Were your instances on the cloud just going waste, or were you utilizing it to the maximum? That was the problem everybody were trying to solve, right? Same now in AI. If you really see, everybody is trying to solve the problem of tokens. How much token can you save? How much you incur? Because that's where the money goes. Startup founders, which I am also now part of, by the way. Well, everybody, they think that we have solved this problem. They'll probably run it for 10 users. 10 users, 1,000 tokens per API call is what? 10,000 tokens. Fantastic. Within the limits, zero cost. Nothing happened. Now suddenly when they put it to the real users, maybe the product is so good, it became like 1,000 users now. Now see the math. In 1 million they say $2. Now it already crossed the token limit. Suddenly your bill will come as $200 and you don't even know why. Right? Same happened in cloud world. Same will happen in AI world. It's already happening in AI world. If you are seeing all the news where some organization got this bill, that bill, becomes like a lot of influencers will put doomsday influencers. That's what I call them. A lot of AI doomsday influencers will put some kind of an article saying the company had to pay $500,000 for this and that, right? All that thing is all only because of this. Okay, you need to understand and draw parallels with what already happened in the past, not very old past, recent past, cloud, 10, 15 years old. Same thing is happening with AI and LLMs. Okay, so that is the token. Second one, obviously, observability, monitoring and observability. It's not going anywhere. Cloud had that, AI also have that. The tool chain is pretty much the same. Nothing has changed, right? And finally, obviously the governance, right? We call it as human in the loop, AI governance, this and that, right? Cloud also had that. They just called it as different name. They called it as shared responsibility principles, where part of the security you take care of, part of the security we'll take care of. The pizza model, all that, if you remember, right? In the cloud world, you had all that, right? Same now in AI. Patterns, pretty much the same. Nothing has changed. Okay? Yeah, just that different tools have come in place now. So with that, with the experience that I just spoke about, how I started, what I used to do, and how I used to latch on to the shiny new things, but all that basically taught me one thing. No matter where you go, what you do, as long as you are aware, as long as you are aware of your surroundings, aware of what's going on around your world, And also, as long as you have access to certain technology documents, Gartner Hype Cycle, for example, Hotworks has a document called as Technology Radar. Okay, very popular. But Gartner Lifecycle is different, and Technology Radar is different. Technology Radar is pretty deep into technology. Gartner is at the ecosystem level. Okay, so if you have access to such articles, tools, and all that, one thing is pretty clear that things will continue to change. Every 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, things will evolve. The titles will evolve. The roles that existed in the past will not exist anymore. New roles will emerge. Fundamentals will still remain the same though, because quantum computing is not going to come in your hands as laptops, right? So we are going to stay in classical computing only, right? That means it is still bits and bytes and IP and bash and whatever we are having fundamentally is not going to change. It's all still going to be the same. Quantum will come, it will solve a different problem. Okay? So given all that, one thing is for sure, nothing that you have learned, those in this room who have probably seen this, done that maybe 10, 15, 20 years back, nothing is going to change in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Everything will remain the same. Only thing is, the jobs which were done by 10 people probably will be done by 1 or 2 using AI, LLMs, and so on. That is obviously going to happen. Okay. Now, with all that, something that I predict is going to be the next wave. Again, based on what I have seen in the past, based on what I have read, and my LinkedIn feed also. With all that, one thing that I can predict is edge AI, physical AI, like so what the focus areas that you are focusing on. That is what going to rule now. At least next 10 years, that is going to shape the world. Already, a lot of companies, including big ones like Anthropic, Meta, and so on, they are already working on it. And they also have a term for this called as world models and so on. But the problems that they are solving is different. Okay, world models as in, they really want to represent the physical world in a way where AI will get the best metrics out of it. So that world model is different. Edge and physical AI is different, by the way. But anyhow, according to my prediction, again, take it with a grain of salt, this is the space that startups who get very deep in this are going to not only sustain, survive, but they are the ones who will also rule. Okay, including Indian government pushing for semiconductors and all that. Yeah, this definitely came from Claude. I did not do this though. What you see here is a mix of many things. Linux. You in your software engineering use Linux. In your networking, you will use Linux. Inferencing, you will use Linux. Nothing has changed, right? What else? You have applications. You have applications, APIs, and so on. Nothing has changed. It remains. Security is there. Cloud is there. Data processing is there. But all of this, instead of virtual applications like software engineering applications, SaaS, and so on and so forth, all of that is going to help this world. Edge AI world, physical AI world. Okay, the classic example that you earlier shared is one, but there are many others that are coming up now, along with sensors and actual physical devices. Obviously, sensors are the connections between the physical and application layer, but all of this is what is going to rule. By the way, there are plug and play sensors. If you guys have already tried it, and with all that, the rise of this is the title that I think is going to shape up: embedded AI engineer. Okay, not embedded hardware engineer, neither embedded engineer, just AI engineer. No, embedded AI engineer, a person who knows AI, who knows how to inference, who also knows sensors, who knows physical world, who knows APIs, who knows Python. All of that together, if you are able to bring that mind to build your physical AI, edge AI, obviously the products will be somewhere, but there is the title, embedded AI engineer, that is going to rule now. Okay? And that's exactly what we are betting on. We as in my co-founder Ravi here, and I am here in this room. We just started the company, and this is our bet. And based on that bet, we have taken in 2 full-time employees, 1 intern, and we already started building the products. It will take probably 6 months till by the time the first product is out for the demo. Now the question is, what is your bet? And that basically concludes my talk here. Any questions?
Can you elaborate on this a little?
The topic of edge AI and physical AI? Yeah, sure. Let's say this room, sir. Okay, this room, and this could be a very, very basic example. This room has these many seats. The first row, the second row, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh row. Each row occupies 8 people. Each seat actually costs a lot. Let's say, I'm just giving up something, right? If 3 people are not sitting here, basically means you're losing money. That's the model we are in. Now, if the seat is able to tell you that I am unoccupied, that's physical AI. You are not counting it. The seat is speaking with you. How it speaks with you is the ecosystem. It has a sensor. The moment somebody sits on it, the sensor detects that the weight has put on it, so the weight sensor speaks, or physical proximity. Somebody comes near to the seat, it knows that somebody has come to it, it talks with you, and so on. Using BLE, Bluetooth technology, let's say you have somewhere in the corner of the room, you have central engine, brain in the room. So using Bluetooth, it is speaking with that central engine, and that central engine is sending that information to the cloud. That cloud is connected to a handheld devices that you have, your mobile phone. So now you're not in this room, you're elsewhere, but then you know that these 3 seats are empty. Okay? Some random example. That is physical AI. Okay? Likewise, anything. Let's say this water bottle, right? This water bottle is just a plastic bottle right now. But then if you want to make it physical AI bottle, imagine the cap of the bottle is smart enough that the moment somebody drinks from it, the cap turns purple, right? And you keep the bottle here, it is purple. Now somebody looks at it, oh, it's purple. That means somebody already drank from it. Physical AI. Another random example. Okay, so the entities that is around you, the material entities, if you are able to convert them into something that speaks with you, connects with you, derive the data out of it, that's all physical and AI.
So isn't that just a repackaging of IoT?
It is, definitely. The difference between back then IoT and now is AI. You never had inferencing back then. Now you have inferencing. So for example, this mic, imagine the mic has AI inferencing in it. Whatever am I speaking right now, if the mic has inferencing in it, it understands my tone, it understands my emotion, it understands how many I did, and so on. And then the end of this particular session, if it is able to send me a report directly. Now, from where are you getting the report? Not from where I spoke and then somebody recorded from the camera, and from that you are sending some tool which is deriving your analysis and sentiment. No, it is directly coming from the physical device on which this entire speak was happening. That was not possible before. That is possible now because you can put AI in this.
What is edge AI? How is it different?
Edge basically means instead of your data residing on some cloud somewhere else, it is residing on the device itself. Edge compute. Thank you.
A mic that translates it into different language, for
A
example.
mic, yeah, exactly. Let's say a mic is able to do that, right? For example, in the audience, let's say, the classic example, in the audience, let's say somebody who is only able to speak Telugu or Tamil, they will just take the mic and then ask question. When they speak in real time, what they are speaking through the speaker here or through the board here will get translated. As a speaker, I'll just either read or hear, and then I will be able to answer it. All that is possible now, which was not possible with pure IoT.
Training the robots, humanoid
Absolutely.
robots, and all those.
All of them, all of them, all of them. Sir,
So, one thing
seem to be common across everything that you said.
Yeah.
Is and this is for the young people over here, students especially. Reading.
Yes.
Everything that you said keeps tying back to I read this here, I read this there,
Yes.
I read that there. I'm reading this now, and I'm following this.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So how you use your personal time matters a lot. How you define your day, how you define your success for the week, for the month, for the year, maybe for the past decade, it matters a lot. And as you're saying, sir, it all depends on how much time you're spending in improving your skills. It could be reading, it could be doing, it could be building. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel that a little.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes and tells you,
Yeah.
I don't have to read, I can just watch and learn,
Yeah.
what would you say to them?
I see. There is this different modes of learning. People say, you can watch and learn, you can read and learn, you can listen to and learn. But based on what personally I have understood is, nothing beats reading, because that's why fictional books or books on fiction, they are so famous. It's not because it's wasting your time. No, it's because it actually is triggering your neurons in a way where watching or listening will not ever. Because when you read, it's actually triggering the neurons of your persona. Because when you read like, oh, there is this beautiful garden with rose flowers in it. My worldview of a beautiful garden of rose flowers is my experience as of till now, till this date. That could be different for 10 different people. But when you actually project it on a video or you're putting it as an audio, they are already defined the worldview for you. So nothing beats reading in that sense. So when I read an article, what I derived out of that article is because of my history so far. If I see a video, my entire history, my entire worldview is completely blocked because the video is asking me to only focus on that worldview of the person who generated the video. So that's my personal opinion, and I generally don't do that. Reading is first for me, then comes maybe listening, because I do a lot of audible. Because when you listen, you still have to imagine. Third comes actually seeing the videos. And again, it's my personal opinion, it could differ for different people. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We are running out of time, so this is the last question, I guess.
Sure.
As a company founder or an owner,
Yeah.
a CEO, how can I set up my system in a way to identify the next cycle comes?
Yes. The noise and the signal, essentially. Multiple ways. If you are a founder or a CEO, my recommendation is just don't go with LinkedIn feeds or Insta. I struggle. It's Instagram, I think. Right? Or, yeah, Instamart. I go with Instamart. So, so don't rely only on that, sir. You have Business Week, you have Economist, you have one more, Business Line. So these kind of magazines, what I started doing, because I decided to form a company, what I started doing is I subscribe to those magazines online, virtual, and I go to the science and technology, I go to the business, both those pages, and then scan through them every day. 10 minutes is what it takes. But then that 10 minutes over a period of time is giving me a view of what could happen, which I will not remember at that particular moment. But then a certain time in a certain space, maybe 3 months later, because the neurons and all, they are wired like that, I'll hook on to a point that yes, I read this somewhere or I came across this somewhere. So there is something in it, the white space, right? So I would not definitely recommend to rely on social media if you are looking for a pattern. I would definitely say unbiased magazines. There are magazines which are biased. So look for unbiased magazines. The Hindu magazines, I kind of feel they're good. So go for unbiased magazines and look for the science and technology and the business editions. That will help. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bharat. That was very informative, and I guess at the end of the day, we come back to reading, which we didn't do enough in school. I'm speaking for myself here. But yeah, thank you so much for all the insights. There is a lot to learn there. Now we're getting into the pitching segment of the show. So we have two pitches today. One is a startup pitch and the other one is an idea pitch. First, let me call upon the startup pitch. You sent me the presentation, so let me pull it up. हमारा नाम So you have 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. 5 minutes for presentation and 6 minutes for presentation and 4 minutes for.
Hello everybody, I'm Sanu Mitra from Innovate Mobility. So I'll give you a basic idea about our startup. It is basically a EV servicing company wherein we go to the person's home and we service their EV vehicle. This idea is to fill the gap between the EV companies and the customers. Whenever a customer has a breakdown for their EV vehicle, they either have to drag the vehicle to the service center or something, but that is very tough to do. So that is where Innovate Mobility comes in. And we've already taken a lot of customer feedback from people who are facing these issues. So what they have told us is that this would be a very useful idea. But again, there is one difficulty is that the components which are used in the EV vehicle, those are the like whatever the company is, we get the components only there. So whenever we do servicing, we get the components purchased from that particular company and then we do the servicing.
So yeah, Innovate EV is one of its own kind. It's one of its own kind. Basically, in Andhra, there is no app which services EV. Usually, all EV scooters go to showrooms or its specific service centers. But there are some companies, like third-party companies, which doesn't have good service provided in the city. We provide good service to them at doorstep level.
Well, this runs in a three-step module, which is AI, IoT, and human expertise. So basically, we are working on this device, telemetric device, which is being fitted in the scooty, so that it predicts the battery health of the scooty or the, let's say, the wiring, and then the IoT monitors the health of the vehicle. Then so basically there are two apps. One is the customer app and one is the technician app. The customer app is the one which the customers use. They will book their service in that particular app, and the technicians then receive that notification and they get allotted to the nearest customer they have. And then is the fleet and OEM platform. So basically, as he said, there are many third-party scooters which don't really have a service center. For them, we are providing collaborations in which they can collaborate with our company, and we can directly provide them home servicing. Well, we have seen that EVs are taking place nowadays instead of petrol vehicles because of the petrol price. So, in this whole market, the first main difficulty is that there are less EV technicians, like trained technicians. So, whenever like there's a breakdown, they don't really understand what technology to use to repair that vehicle. And then there is no predictive maintenance systems, as in you cannot predict when your scooty will stop in a place, because petrol scooties mostly stop because of the either tire puncture or there would be less petrol. But EVs have a software installed, so you don't really know when that will stop. So Innovite Mobility, the app predicts it that let's say 3 days before, it predicts that on this day your EV will stop. Then there is very limited service reach in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. In Vizag, there are very less EV service centers, is what we have observed. And because of that, this is an advantage for us to get into the market. And there is a lot of battery health issues with the EV. So whenever a person purchases an EV, the battery health, as in the guarantee is given only for let's say 3 years. After that, there is no guarantee. So whenever they go to the store, they just charge more and more for that. Okay, why we chose Vishakhapatnam as a pilot project is because there are 5,000 EVs onboarded, and there are 100 plus trained technicians, but they are not really being used. And there is 25 service partners, and there is a lot of fleet partnerships which we can establish in Vizag. So our target right now, first phase is, as I said, Vishakhapatnam pilot project. The phase 2 will be Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu expansion. Phase 3 will be 25 cities across 10 states, and phase 4 will be national deployment, which includes 5,000 plus technicians, 1 lakh plus EVs, and 1,000 partners. Well, when we get into this market, we are also creating a lot of jobs, because when we recruit technicians, we train them. So even if they are unemployed, if we train them, they can be useful. Well, the market chain of EV is very big in India, which includes the EV owners, fleet operators, EV garages, OEMs, and dealerships. So, what we think is that this is a very big market to conquer. So there's a lot to do in it. And also that again, as I mentioned earlier, that nowadays the petrol price is really high. So by 2030 or something, EV vehicles would be a lot more than now. I think that is better for the environment too, and also that if the count becomes higher, the service centers need to be higher too. But if the service centers stay the same, there will be a huge gap. I think that's it with the pitching. That's it with the pitching, sir. We are open for questions.
How does this work? You will install the software in those vehicles?
So right now, it is an app. Innovite Mobility is an app. So it is installed in the phones of the customer. They book the appointment. Right now, this is the thing. We are still working on the telemetric device. When the telemetric device is already ready, it would be let's say of this much size, and it would be fitted into the scooty, and it would predict the battery health or the health of the scooter.
It can be fitted to any EV scooty. It's like a plug-in.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
So, presently, do you have any trained technicians?
Yes, sir. We have 6 to 7 trained technicians already.
Do you expect that they meet the demand?
Yes, sir. Thing is, right now the demand is not that much, so that is why we have kept less technicians because I guess
I
again
know
we have to
still
pay them.
time is there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Expiry
yes,
and all.
yes.
And where you station them? Do you have an office or some workshop like?
Right now the office is in Venture Development Center in Geetam University.
Oh. How to reach you?
So you can reach us to the customer care number if the customer.
Will you share it?
Yeah, sir. We also have an app called EV Care. If you
Yeah.
book a slot in it, we'll come to your doorstep and we'll service your scooter.
Can you display? Make a note of that.
No, sir. We didn't mention it in the PPT. I'll give you the name.
But anyway, I will meet you after this.
Yeah,
Oh
sir.
yes,
Sure.
for sure.
How big is your team? Yeah, how big is your team?
So basically, right now it's our CEO, Mr. Srihari sir, and we are 15 interns from Geetam University. He is an operations employee, and there are 6 technicians.
You are paying them now.
Sorry,
Are
sir.
you viable now regarding your
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
numbers? What is your funding system? Are you getting enough funds?
Sir, I don't really have a brief idea about it because I'm an intern. So about the funding part, I don't really have an idea.
But we are getting customers, sir. We did 600 EV scooters restoration in Hyderabad. Recently, it's been like 1 month.
Do you have registered customers as of now?
Yes, sir. We do have.
Do they contribute periodically or according to the cases? And,
Sir, so basically it is like
annual maintenance like thing.
yes, sir. So there is an AMC for 999, which is like lifetime AMC, and the per like as in one-time service charge is 250 rupees. For that also, if they are first customers, they get it for 100 rupees.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's invite the next pitch, the idea pitch.
One.
Amara Labs.
Hi, this is Mohan. I'm currently studying class 12, homeschooling by NIOS. Besides that, I'm working on the project Hamara Labs. So, let's start with the story. Okay, so this is Rohan. He studies in class 9. He just came to class 9. He thinks that reading the books is the only way to learn. In reality, he must be like this children over here doing experiments, solving real life problems, and hence learning experience. Does Rohan really have such facilities? Yeah, he has them. Government of India has established 10,000 state-of-the-art experiential labs called Atal Tinkering Labs. Each lab has been given 20 lakhs of funding. The labs have equipment like IoT, 3D printer, telescopes, whatnot. Whatever the student wants to do, he can enter the lab. Any person in the vicinity of the lab can enter there and he can do the experiment. The facility is available. But are people like Rohan really using such labs? Is a question. And the answer is no. It's 2,000 crores investment over the whole 10,000 labs, and still there's no active utilization till date. So we, as Hamar Labs, proposed a solution. We use we give services to the in charges of the lab. Typically, there's an in charge in a lab who handles whatever the student does. When a student enters the lab, he has a list of experiments to do. The ATL in charge typically assigns the activities he or she does the activities, then he or she again reports the ATL in charge that yeah, I have done this activity, give me another activity. That's the typical workflow. Right now it's being done on pen and paper. We are putting that on a digital platform. Furthermore, we generate customized tinkering activities for students. Let's say Rohan enters the lab. He is fascinated with solar fans and solar equipment. So his interest and aspiration is fed in our database, and we generate customized tinkering activity for him using generative AI. And when he reaches to a certain skill, we assign him competitions that he can participate in, and in that way he'll be able to gain skills. So this is one such example where a student who was fascinated with solar equipment initially used the equipment in adult tinkering labs, and then has done activities for an year or so, and then was able to eventually build a CCTV camera system in his old schools that solely runs using solar. Yeah. So this is how the learning pathway looks like. Let's say a student is interested in making games using Arduino. We have this microcontrollers in the lab. The student enters the lab. He is given the first experiment to whether check the Arduino. Then the second experiment is assigned to check if the LED bulb is glowing. The third one, use an LED matrix. So on, use three LED matrix to glow. And so on. For example, Jaydeep is the one who used Hamara Labs when it comes to adult tinkering labs, and he has done this really in the adult tinkering lab, and this is the demonstration. And at last, he was able to build a game using Arduino games, using Arduino microcontroller, and he has just passed 10th class, and he is able to achieve to this great level. Yeah, and he has been doing since the last 6 months, and this is a tremendous progress through Hamara Labs and adult tinkering labs. So we have a digital platform. We orchestrate all this services in a digital platform. It's app.hamaralabs.com. A student can log in and be able to update the status of his experiments that he is doing. And this whole application that we have done as a team is all open source. Any ATL, any experiential lab, any state-of-the-art lab can use it and manage their day-to-day services and activities. So this is how it's typically done. We enter the lab, we select the school and the student. The student then sees all the activities that he has been doing since the last time period. He'll be able to update the status. Okay, this is the ATL in charge perspective. An ATL in charge, when he enters the lab, he sees all the overview of the students, what competitions he is participating, what is the activities that he is right now doing. The ATL in charge will be able to generate tinkering activities. He clicks the button, and then a new activity is generated. And the student does that, he updates the status of the activity, and then the process goes on until he attains a skill. Okay. Let's say a student who is living in a rural area wants to do an experiment. Let's say, okay, a student in an ATL wants to do an experiment. That is to know the household voltage. Practically speaking, no ATL in charge would want to risk a student to put leads into a socket because it's typically dangerous playing with AC circuit. Instead, we provide a service called remote triggered labs where this controlled environment is in a remote place, and a student would be able to open a web app and do the experiment where the robotic arm mimics his hand. This is the apparatus, and he does the experiment virtually. No, we say remotely, yes. So this is the roadmap. We have forked the Hamara Labs project, and we are selling this to individual high school students so that we give individual customized tinkering activities to high school students in India. We have generated revenue of 1.7 lakhs to date. So these are the 10 schools we have reached out, and the Hamara Labs is rightly actively working. Okay. Hamara Labs is also like a dashboard view for Atal Innovation Mission. You know that Atal Innovation Mission uh, needs to check the activities being done in all 10,000 ATLs. We have a feature where the aim in charge, the one in charge of the 10,000 ATLs, can be able to see the activities done by the students, the schools, in an overview. So that's our USB. Uh, yeah. Uh, so uh, we still need to fine tune our generative AI model in order to uh, give better customized activities than we need to implement remote trigger labs in a huge scale so that we could be able to uh, s- we could be able to do multiple experiments by different types of experiments by in an enormous amount. Yeah. So we have 250 students who are actively working on uh, various tinkering activities and Hamar Labs over the 10,000 schools. No, sorry, the 10 schools. We have 2,000 plus tinkering activities and we have 20 plus competitions that the students participated in. This is one such competition. This was organized by an organization based out of US funded by Elon Musk. The students have gone there and it was their first international hackathon as well. The students were thrilled and amazed. And we aim to do the same for 20 crore high school students in order to fulfill their aspirations and interests. We have vetted uh, customized tinkering activities what we assign so that they gain skills is as a pedagogy is vetted by the uh, NCRT. Yeah, NCRT. So this is the research paper. Yeah, yeah thanks.
Who is organizing? Who is heading this? I mean, you are the person behind this, or anybody else is there to guide, mentor, and
Yeah, my father is helping me in doing the same. Yeah,
good job, sir.
Yeah.
Really proud of.
yeah, and I typically take
How did you acquire this technological information in the current class itself?
no, I have been doing this since the last 4 years. I guess
No,
from
apart from
the
your
COVID time.
academics, this
Yes,
is
yes,
parallelly
yeah.
your.
Part time. Yeah. Apart from
Sorry,
the
out
academic.
of context, what is your I mean, future plans and all? Would you rather continue your academics or get into this technological field?
I have a different view on that. I think it's both technology plus academics that I want to pursue. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
Individual,
You're not
yeah.
going to work. I know
Yes,
you are going
yes,
to be
yes.
a
For those of you who are unfamiliar, he's participated in the last how many ever hackathons we organized at AHUB.
Really, sir. I
So
mean,
he was also a winner in a few of them.
really, congrats.
So he's
Yeah.
been with AHUB and we are very familiar
Oh.
with his work.
Our hub is part.
He's participated in many of our hackathons.
Really.
So he's not a new entity for us. We've known his progress
For me,
for a
it's
while.
that's great.
So-
I'm much surprised.
Thank you for
Thanks.
presenting.
Yeah.
This is wonderful
A
work.
beautiful presentation. All the best.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
So, mentor is your father.
No, that's a real problem, in fact. So,
No, really, sir.
Really,
I
that's
know
what
that
we
so
read.
much funding is available. PTL, I know that.
Okay, so that brings us to the end. Now we usually ask Srinivas to give us announcements if there are any. You're looking at me. No, this is not. This is not the script. This is my prepared script. I said. Announcements. You're doing it every time.
No, but it was printed so that we can.
I don't have the script. This is. So while Srinivas is looking up for his announcements, which may take a few minutes, let me get back to the presentation here and I'll display a feedback QR code. It's been a few weeks since I got on the stage and hosted the show, so I feel a little rusty. So please pardon me if things are choppy and they're not smooth flowing. But I think we had great presentations. Please provide us feedback. We will definitely incorporate whatever suggestions you have. Most of us, the team who organize this show, are volunteers. We all have different things that we do on a regular basis and regular day jobs. So we are passionate about having a good, vibrant startup ecosystem in the city. So we can always use help. If somebody is interested in pitching and making this better, please contact us. Srinivas, you ready?
Hello everyone, just a couple of quick announcements. Because I'm a part of TiE Vizag chapter, after our TiECon, we had reached out to startups that participated, some pitched and some who did not get a chance to pitch, to talk to some of our charter members and pitch their ideas. We got delayed because everybody's been busy with their companies and all of that. But we're going to be reaching out to them and providing mentor support, because by the end of July, we want to make a cohort of about 10 startups that are going to pitch in front of investors. So, and then we'll start a new batch. So anyone here who is interested in pitching and then getting to an investor pitch level, please contact me. Then we could not do a hackathon, a HackIP hackathon last month. We are trying to do that on the 28th of this month. We will share all that information shortly in the HackIP hackathon group. AHUB is conducting a series of workshops primarily for idea validation, which is going to start on the 9th of June. And every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to have a series of these things, basically 8 sessions, 2 per week. If you're interested, Vijita sir, raise your hand, is the one that you should contact so that she can enroll you, share the link. There's an inside joke. And then, as I said, TiE Vizag, we're conducting a sales and marketing workshop in English, Telugu, with English content on the screen. This is primarily because we noticed that there are a lot of entrepreneurs that we are ignoring by only speaking in English, whereas we're probably leaving behind 75% of the population of entrepreneurs there. So we've already done one for manufacturing MSMEs. This one that's coming up on the 26th of June is going to be for service MSMEs. And finally, the next Startup Saturdays will be on the 28th of June. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinivas. Startup Saturdays conversation continues on WhatsApp. If you're not on this group, please join. You can be sure that anything irrelevant will be deleted. If you keep posting it, we will follow you wherever you are. So please don't post any good morning, happy Diwali type posts. So it is a safe space, just relevant conversation about startups. With all those rules, if you still like us, you can follow us on our social media. We're all on pretty much every social media there is to see, I guess. So yeah.
We'll delete.
Sorry?
Anything irrelevant gets deleted.
That's what I just said. Even after that rule, if you still like us, you can follow us. So, okay, with that, we come to the end of the show. Please come please come forward here for a group picture. Thank you all for coming.